he's chopping up some carrots for me. And over here in this pot, I've done some diced onions and diced celery. And I'm just sweating them out, getting them a little soft in the pan before I start adding the other ingredients. So the main star of this show is the white beans. We soak them overnight in salt water. They get really, really plump, and then I pre-cooked them for about 30 minutes with just a couple bay leaves. So those will go in the pot. And then the rest of this recipe is super easy. So it's a can of chopped tomatoes, petite diced if you prefer, or rough chopped, however you like it. I mean, you can certainly use your own tomatoes, but I just find it's much easier, especially this time of year, to just get some canned tomatoes. And I'm cheating and using frozen spinach. You can use fresh if you want. Kale will be fantastic. They didn't actually have kale at the grocery store, so I just bought frozen. And I love frozen vegetables because they are really healthy, and they're frozen primarily where they're picked. And so quite often they're processed immediately, so they keep a lot of nutrients. So Jonathan, what'd you just do for us there?
Some carrots.
Carrots and squash is going in. This is, again, a bag of butternut squash, frozen. Just to add a little wintry sustenance. You know, you could put regular potatoes, but I don't eat a lot of potatoes. Jonathan likes his potatoes.
I like a lot of potatoes.
But I don't eat them. So I'm doing butternut squash instead. And now we have carrots. So that's it. You can see it's a big pot of vegetable soup. And I will tell everybody that I'm like a lifelong Weight Watchers person. And so on Weight Watchers, this soup is 0 points because it's all vegetables. I'm going to get that all stirred up in there. You can add vegetarian broth if you want to keep it vegetarian. What are some things you might add to this soup?
Chicken stock would be what I would use for that, but
yep,
yeah,
a little chicken stock. You could just add water. And then, of course, our favorite, and we might do this later, is a ham bone. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon of coarse salt, give it some seasoning. And then what have you got for me here?
Rosemary, thyme, and sage.
So you just got that. It's a basic poultry seasoning mix, right?
Yeah, just...
And if you don't have it, just use dried herbs. That's fine too. But we're going to throw these in as well, and that will all mix down. So I'm going to put that on to simmer. I'm probably going to add a little bit more water maybe, or some stock. But for right now, we made one yesterday, and I'm going to show you what that looks like because it comes together literally that quickly. So let's slide this over. I'm going to bring this one out. And you know, the best thing to serve this soup with, and you can see that it is, it thickens up, things cook down, it gets really soft, it's nice and rich. How about you want to taste it? And what did you make for us over here?
This is an Anadama loaf. It's a traditional New England bread. Molasses and cornmeal are the two distinguishing features in there.
Ooh, this looks good. So you baked that last night. How long did that take you?
Rose for, I don't know, maybe 2.5 hours or so, and then baked for about an hour.
Let's show everybody. What do you think? Think about that loaf. It's so pretty. Yeah, you could carve some bread. I'm going to start eating soup.
There you go.
Do you want a bite?
Sure, that'd be great.
Maybe hot.
It's great.
What's it taste like? It's kind of rosemary-ish. Smells like rosemary
Yeah, the herbs
primarily.
come through pretty strongly.
Yum. That is really good. Oh my God, look at your bread. That is so beautiful. The molasses is what makes it kind of brown?
Molasses adds to the darkness, and some whole grain flours.
Yeah, nice. And you said cornmeal.
And cornmeal.
Okay, so here's a bowl of soup for you. We're just sharing the same spoon. I do have another one. I guess I could use it.
Maybe.
And I'm gonna dunk some bread in it too, because that looks amazing. So if you don't bake your own bread, like I'm lucky enough to live with this guy who does, you can certainly pick up a loaf somewhere. There's all kinds of fantastic frozen doughs that you can do, or try baking your own bread. It's really not that hard.